Planner people, what is up? I'm back for the second video of the planning prep series, the 2020 prep series, where I show you guys how I'm getting myself ready for 2020. Now, as typical late Lex always is, it's already 2020 and my planners aren't fully set up yet, but it's okay. It's okay. It's only January 2nd. I'm not too far behind. And I really want to take my time and get things right. So no rush on my end. But today is a very special video because this is the video I will be focusing on my finances, reviewing my 2019 and getting myself super ready for 2020. Now, I have high hopes for 2020 financially because I will be working off of a full-time job income. And that's not something I've had to do before. In the past, I've survived off of part-time income for a very long time, and I'm excited to have a lot more to work with. And with having a lot more to work with, I also have to worry about more bills and more expenses. So it's a balance there. But I'm just gonna show you guys how my 2019 went. And this is a stack of all of the planners that I've used as wallets or as supplemental wallets, and I do not have wallet peace, you guys. That is one thing I struggle with. Sometimes I want something super small like this, which just has like a couple card slots, ID, coins. I used my pocket planner, as you guys know, which back pocket is essential. This particular one did not have card slots, but I would just tuck them in here and have all my info, budgeting stuff in the planner. But sometimes I'd feel kind of embarrassed, honestly, to pull out something so cumbersome. I've used a regular wallet, and I've tucked in like notepads into here and pens. I also kind of wonder if a Hobonichi Weeks would fit in here nicely. But like, I'm just not a fan of something being this narrow to write in. But, you know, if anyone wants to try that out, I've seen a few people using wallets to hold their Hobonichi Weeks. And it's the perfect little wallet planner duo. And then, of course, I'm currently using my A6 to house my budgeting stuff. But I'm not necessarily using it as a wallet. So right now, these are empty. But sometimes I will, and once I get more cash, I will start to use it more, but I haven't needed to quite yet. And I still have my cash envelope system that I've cut down to 3 sections. I have the option to use 6 sections as well. And one of these days, I might cut it down so that it fits more nicely in my planner. But I'm kind of afraid, to be honest, and that's why I haven't done it yet. But yeah, so back pocket here could also hold some cash, but right now it's holding stickers, receipts, and paperwork. So finally, we have a new person in the mix. A new planner in the mix that I made completely impulsively, and I don't regret it, and I'm loving it so much. This is going to be my financial planner for 2020. Now, the cover may change depending on how I'm feeling, but something about using a Louis Vuitton for finances just seems right. And so that's what I have. I will show you guys the setup in a later video because it's not really done yet. As I said, I made this really impulsively. But I'm loving how crisp it looks. It satisfies that crisp planner need in me so that my personal planner can stay chunky and extra. I have my dividers monthly and these financial top tabs and various sections in here. So what I did was I put all my 2019 financial inserts in here for each month just to kind of see how I'd like it. But I'll probably take out 2019 once I'm done reviewing. So what I've done so far is every month, I have written down all my expenses on this finance sheet. And I have 4 budget categories that I was able to stick to. Sometimes I try to be more specific, but these are the ones I was able to stick to for the entire year. Personal, travel, dining, and necessities. So what I did was I tracked my expenses color coded in this little like dot area, and then calculated my totals in the end. Oops, I didn't finish color coding. So personal was this lime green color, travel was this traditional green color, dining out was light gray, and necessities was dark gray. So that's what I did. My color code stayed consistent the entire year, believe it or not. And so I took this little notepad and started figuring out my totals, and this is going to help me figure out what my average spending is so that I can budget more accurately in the coming year. So I've done all the way up through November, so I'm going to do December with you guys right now and just walk you through how I really did this. So far I started to color code, but I'm going to finish it up now. So the easiest category is always food, Dunkin' Donuts, bacon, egg, and cheese, blah, blah, blah. So let me add that up. Got my little calculator here. And yes, I track everything. I know some people say they only want to track the unnecessary spending, but because my income was so limited, I actually did enjoy and felt like I needed to even budget necessary spending. And if money got tight, I actually did have to prioritize my necessary spending. So it looks like I only spent $16 on food in December. So there you go. And then for travel, that would be Ubering. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot. Oops. So 16 goes here. I'm not sure what that's for. Travel is going to be this green color, and that's wherever I Ubered, which looks like I didn't Uber at all in December. So travel will be 0. Travel will be less and less important as time goes on, but I still kind of want to get a review on how much I spent each month. So let's do personal, which would definitely be movie tickets, candle, juicy, whatever that is. I don't even remember. Planner Spot sub, Amazon, whatever I got on Amazon. Hair products, I'm going to consider necessary. Rite Aid, that was probably something necessary. 8 Lotus inserts, that's personal. Student loan, necessary. Canva, necessary. So let's add up these little light green dots. I think you guys get the gist. So I'm going to come back with all my totals. Okay, so it looks like I spent $82 for personal stuff in December. Nothing in travel. $16 on dining out. That's really low. I did a good job in December. I don't know what I did, but I was really staying on budget. And then $377 on necessary spending. And that's higher than normal because I did have my first payment, my first student loan payment. So, and then the total was $475. Okay, so now I have a record for my December finances, and I'm going to stick that back in my planner. So now I have a summary of my spending for the entire year, and I'm going to use this little Coletto here to circle my lowest and highest months so I can get a range for each category, and then I will also figure out my average spending in each category. Both those numbers will be helpful, I believe. So in red, I'm going to do the highest. The highest month for personal spending was, oh, okay, my birthday month. I knew it. And now I'm going to do my averages. So put like a little highlight bar. And calculate my averages for each of my 4 categories. This looks so messy, but it's going to be important. And don't worry, I'm going to make a really cute insert for my financial planner so that I can reference this later on, but this is just my little worksheet. Alright, so I'm back and I've done all my averages. Again, it's kind of ugly, but at least I now know in general both a range for each of my spending categories and an average, and that was going to be so helpful in creating more accurate budget categories, because I don't know about you, but I definitely had a habit of under budgeting and not being realistic with how much I needed to spend on things. So now I know. And again, I'm going to use this to make something a little more aesthetically pleasing. So now that I've reviewed my finances, in technical terms, I kind of want to really reflect on this and see that I feel I would love to actually know how much of this personal spending was planner stuff. I'm going to guess like 80% of it was planner related. And spending $150 a month on planning stuff seems a little high. So again, that's going to help me figure out what can I work on. But really, as it should be, most of my spending was necessary. So that's good. And every month on average, I spent $455. Now, that's pretty high for a part-time job, someone with a part-time job, and I often did have to dig into my savings, especially after May when I graduated. Even though these numbers are pretty low, I had to really take money out of my savings sometimes to make ends meet, to keep up with my spending, which didn't really change, as you can see. So yeah, but now that I do have a full-time job, this number is a lot more doable, so I don't mind keeping this number the same. But yeah, we'll see how I end up working the numbers. I can't wait to make my first budget for January, which I'll be doing in here. But now that I've done a little bit of reflection, it is time to set some goals. So for the goal setting, let's actually look at my discbound. Now first, I do need to take a look at the financial goals that I set for myself in 2019, which are right here. Oops, there we go. So some of the financial goals, I will take care of the other goals in the next video, don't worry. But for financial goals, for 2019, I wanted to buy a car, start a credit card, maintain a savings account, do an $1,000 emergency fund, purchase a major wish list item, and start a sinking fund for a 2020 vacation. Now, I definitely wasn't too finance focused in 2019. It was more about making ends meet. It was more about treating myself. I've never been the type to just splurge all the time, so it was probably a reasonable amount of spending. But of course, my weakness is always planner related things. But I think I was able to tone it down a lot by getting a sub box, which allowed me to have something to look forward to every month. And just kind of using what I have. So yeah, so there's that. And then I really didn't completely accomplish any of these, but I will say that I did make progress on them, and that is definitely something to acknowledge. I don't want to say that I failed, I just want to say that I need to continue working on it. So I kind of want to make note of that somehow. Maybe instead of highlighting the entire thing like I did for the goals I did complete, I will just highlight. I did start, I did make a savings for a car. I didn't get very far, but I did maintain it. I consider the credit card, but I'm still debating on it, honestly. I know it's a good way to form good credit as a young person, but I do have my student loans, which can also do the same thing if I keep on track with those payments. So I'm still considering that. I maintained my savings account, never went to a balance of 0, which I think is impressive. And I also maintained my emergency fund the entire year. I didn't get to 1,000, but I did get to 200, and it stayed 200. I never dropped down until the very end of the year, which is why I didn't end up needing a credit card or my savings account. I decided to tap into my emergency fund to help afford my student loan payment, which I think Dave Ramsey would have approved of that decision. So I did that. Major wish list item. I can't think of something off the top of my head that I bought that was particularly expensive. But I did buy some things or ask for some things as gifts that have been on my wish list for quite some time. So that's like a 25% complete. The ones I put dots are like 50% complete. And then finally, the sinking fund for vacation, I did not add to. So that doesn't get a dot. But that is my ultimate goal for 2020 finances, is to really start saving up for things that I want ahead of time and prioritize that so that my money goes to things I really care about instead of short-term satisfaction, if that makes sense. So there's that. I'm glad I thought about that. I really feel like I should be writing these down, but maybe I will just reference my video for my initial reactions on my goals. And as you guys may know, I'm also using my Discbound for goal planning, and I have some Sessa Vee inserts back here. Again, a detailed flip through of each of my setups is coming up, but for now, let's just jump to the goal setting inserts. These are by Sessa Vee again. And of course, I'm not saying these are the best goals inserts around. These are just the ones I have. I've used others in the past. I've used Peanuts Planner Co., which are more of like a simple design. And I've also had but never used the Minty Boutique ones, which really prompts you nicely. The Planner Spot had a freebie that would prompt you through like relating your goals to your future habits, which is something I'm going to do in my next video. And then the Sessa Vee ones I liked a lot because it had the different categories. So mind, heart, blah, 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 and then career and finance. So let's do the finance one right now. Basically, it's prompting me to set let me just read it. Get specific about money, material belongings, and or the events connected to your financial goals. Do you want to earn and save a certain amount for a vacation? Yes. A car? Yes. A home? Not yet. Check off your more important items. Only mark half or less of your list. And then once you kind of brain dump your financial goals, it prompts you to pick your top 3, and that will contribute to your 2020 goals. These can still be worked on, of course, but these are your priorities. And I already calculated it, so there's 3 different priorities for each section, and that will leave me with 21 goals to work for. So if I just drop one, that's 20 goals in 2020. How awesome is that? So, but of course, we're working on just finance for today. And this is why I really wanted to have an erasable pen for these videos, which is part of the reason why I was holding off on it, because I wanted to be able to like write this in without like committing. But I had a couple ideas. Of course, instead of the erasable pen, I could use a pencil, or I could use some sticky notes, the translucent ones, which I have here, or I can use page flags. Oops, sorry about the camera. But I think, let me just see what I can come up with. Hopefully I don't regret it. But this is how the transparent sticky notes would look. So I actually just realized there's 20 items here too, and that is just perfect. Oh my god, all the 20s in 2020, it's just making sense. Okay, so I did actually brainstorm some of my finances. I've been using my Stalogy quite a bit lately, like as my brain and my soul, and so I couldn't stop thinking about my goals before I actually wrote in these inserts. So I started to brainstorm, and what I wrote was, I want to save my 1K emergency fund, which is, I believe, step 1 of Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. I want to pay my student loan every month and interest if possible. I want to use sinking funds for estimated and known expenses ahead of time, so that I can enjoy those larger purchases and vacations, things like that. Successfully save for major wish list items, which are car, new phone, new laptop, new bag, AirPods, which isn't that big, but still, camera, tripod, Mulberry Agenda, and LV wallet. Those are like my top 3, 6, 7, 8. But car is definitely number 1. So there's that, and then be able to buy gifts for others, give gas money to friends, contribute to bills in my home, and build good credit with a credit card. Again, that's still kind of up in the air, but I do want to build good credit, and that will also relate to me paying my student loan and doing tithes and offerings. And I want to add to that donating money. Now that I have more, I can give more, and that's really important. So that's nowhere near 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's only 7. It is not 20. So, I mean, I don't think I have to do 20. I'm pretty confident that these will remain my goals, but for the sake of it, I will add these in. Guys, I'm so nervous. I don't know if I want to actually write it in or not. Like, if I write it in, it has to be so neat. Yikes. Like, I don't even think I can write neat on these sticky notes. So my number 1 financial goal, number 1 is save up for a car. See, this is not cute. Nope, it's not cute. Well, I'll live with it. If I don't like it, I can always write it in later, but for the sake of the video, I don't want to worry about writing super neat on camera. So ultimate goal is saving up for the car, and I already know that is going to be top priority. I don't know how she wanted us to do that, but I'm gonna put an exclamation point. So now that I'm writing these down and thinking about it, these could definitely be more, what do they call it? Smart. You know, the saying like make your goals smart. I think I will go back and make these SMART goals, give them a deadline, make them specific, make them measurable, attainable. I don't remember what the other letters stand for, but that's really important to make sure you accomplish them, because a vague goal is a failed goal. Ooh, that was deep. And yeah, so a lot of these financial goals that I set have carried over. The car, the savings, maintaining the savings account. Actually, I'm going to consider that accomplished because that was kind of easy and doesn't need to be done again. That's just kind of a given at this point. Yeah, so I can't really think of anything else that's really important to me. Again, I do live with my parents. So luckily, I am blessed enough to not have to try to make ends meet in terms of bills and stuff. It's really just balancing the payments I do have and my personal spending and saving for the future. So there's that. And I guess while I'm here in the finance section, I will create the wish list items on the second sticky note. I definitely want a mulberry agenda, you guys. That is the top planner related wish list item right now for me. I don't know. I'll just write wallet because it's here. So yeah, those are my wish list items, and I will now put my top 3. Probably like cut this or something. Or not. They should make like giant sheets of the transparent sticky notes, like letter size sheets. So my top 3, as I said, is saving for a car. Now, to be more specific, I should eventually, may not do it in this video, I should figure out how much is the car that I want, or how much am I willing to save up for a car, and then even go as far as dividing up how much I would need to save in each paycheck, stuff like that. Now, for paying my student loan, again, that's kind of vague, so to make that more specific and more smart, that would require me figuring out my financial routine and knowing when I will take out the money for the loan, when the loan is due, how much I owe in student loans, all of that stuff. So this video is just kind of a broad overview of what I'm doing, but just so you know, I will be going back in, getting super specific, and filling out all my financial inserts. So paying for student loans, and 3 is let's make it more broad. Save using sinking funds. Now that I think about it, another goal of mine, look at that. See, this is why it's important that I really think about this before I write on these beautiful inserts. Another financial goal of mine is actually to maintain some sort of side income with a side hustle. So earn additional income, which I started to do a little bit, but I fell off with my small business, and I'm looking to go back to that somehow or figure out a new idea. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for my goal setting. This doesn't look too bad. Once I really commit, I will write them down in the insert itself when I have the time to like write slow and neat. But this isn't bad, and if you hold it down, you can't even tell I put it on sticky notes. So there's that. So now that my goals are set, again, the next thing, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's really important that I get more specific with how these goals can be accomplished. If they just stay like this, they're really just dreams, and I will probably forget about them. So that's where my financial planner is going to come in. It's going to be so handy dandy. I guess I could show you a quick little flip of what's in here. So I'm keeping track of my income. Well, actually, wait. First, financial routine. This needs to be updated. I have the Peanuts Planner Co. financial routine. That's going to be filled out very soon. Income tracking in multiple ways. Expense tracking my bills, tracking my savings, and look, here's a pre-made list of my sinking fund categories that I'm going to try to work with. Loan, vacation, holidays, wardrobe, room makeover, wish list items, hair appointments, my birthday, and planner stuff. That's kind of related to budget, I guess, but I have a budget overview here, and I also have some inserts that will get more specific. Wish list and online orders tracking. And then, as you guys saw, each month I'll be tracking spending and my budget. I'll prepare a budget for each paycheck. So that's what's there. And then in the some gift cards. I'm not sure if you're supposed to show your checkbook. Or is that like private? So that's what I have in here. These all need to be filled out like really soon, but at least I can use my goals that I set and start working on that. I did get a paycheck already for the end of December that I have to budget out. And the last thing I wanted to mention is that instead of like, because I don't want to have to reference this all the time, this is just going to be the binder and catch-all for my finances. But each month I will take out, let's say, for example, it's January now, I'll take out the January inserts and put them in the current personal planner that I'm using. I think that will be the best way to make sure I'm keeping up to date with everything. But we'll see. But just, oh, how cute is this planner starting to look already? I just need like a little dashboard, a few more inserts, customized inserts, and maybe I should have a list of my financial goals in there. Just anything finance related, really. I also think I want to use some Filofax pockets, or I actually have some just regular like white envelopes I could use, or even make some out of scrapbook, but I think I want to keep my long-term sinking funds that are under $100 in here. Now I say under $100 because I just don't think it's safe or practical to keep over $100 for each of your funds like in cash. At that point, you might as well just utilize your savings account, make a little interest if you have to. So my savings for my car is going to stay digitally. My bills, digital. I'm going to just make sure I have enough in my account for those auto payments to take place, and then everything else will be in cash. Whoa, I feel like I talked way more than I thought. But yeah, so I'm glad that I was able to focus on my finances. My finances definitely are going to coincide with my career, and that will be part of the goal planning video, which will be next on the list. Still thinking about using my A6 to keep track of daily spending, but I've been thrown off a little bit with this finance planner and my use of the Every Dollar app. But actually lately I've been using neither, so gotta figure that out, get that together. But anyway, it's 2020. I'm glad my finance goals are in check, and I can't wait to keep on planning. So if you like that, thumbs it up. It helps a lot. Subscribe if you like to hear more from me. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.